talk of the NFL so far. 9 wins in their first 9 games.
And some people subscribe to the theory that a loss might not be the worst thing for them. They've had it easy all year long. How would they do handling adversity?
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Flush to his right. He'll have a first down past the 40. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Carr. And that's caught. It's Brian Edwards. 20, 10, and he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his.
Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
Buddy.
Yeah, and this just looked like a simple, ordinary play to start, but boy, did things change. Once he got free, it was off to the races, and once he hit high gear, there's absolutely no one who's going to stop him.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially this part of the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Carr. That's into the hands of Edwards. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line.
Someone sharp in this game. He had a touchdown pass in the first drive. He comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Carr to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Edwards. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So a big pickup that time. And Charles, defending AFC Player of the Week, maybe bucking towards another award this week.
Yeah, they say they don't really care about the individual awards. You and I both know
they do.
It means a lot to them. It means respect around the league. If he's able to show those kind of hands all game long, he can win a second one.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
I'm looking at this with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
To throw again on 2nd down. Carr.
That is caught. It's Ruggs. Touchdown, Vegas. Henry Ruggs with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Raiders are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side. For Las Vegas, about set to begin the drive. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive, that culminating touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know the funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 47. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. Room here to run. The 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. They'll begin with Jacobs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 72 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
And there's a typical run by Josh Jacobs, one where as a defender, you have to make a decision about how you approach him because he's awfully physical with the ball in his hands. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year after 7 as a rookie, and he was a 1,000-yard rusher in each of his first 2 seasons. Wouldn't surprise me, with enough touches, he can easily crack the 1,500-yard mark.
Carr now on first down. They'll roll him out right. They'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Carr. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. Touchdown, Raiders. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders continue to pull away here in this first half. For Henry Ruggs, he was the fastest runner at the 2020 Combine, ran the 40 in 4.27. That is fast, folks, and that speed in evidence there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a...
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offensive sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
Remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime. I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth.
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy. Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock is going off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Carr eluding the pressure right. Man open, here's Jones. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Vegas.
Big plays are starting to become the trend here in this first half, and everything that they've tried has worked. And there's another example right there.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the third most in a single year. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change-up.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. And they're going to have this way down in Cincinnati territory. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here slow to get up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. To throw his Carr. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
On second and goal, Carr dancing to his left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Derek Carr, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders add on to their lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters.
So the offense set to take the field here. They will have the football with less than a minute to go in the first half. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We start with a good one out at Arrowhead. Toughest ticket of the weekend for sure. Dallas in town to take on Kansas City. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And it was the visiting Dolphins who were able to get the victory. Tua Tagovailoa leading the way with a couple of touchdown passes in the victory. Lastly, let's get you way up to Seattle. See what's happening with the Seahawks. And they've got the lead over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. The Seahawks locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats for the Bengals in that first half. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on this secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they too were able to take advantage of a soft secondary, as both of these two teams really threw the ball at will in that first half. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Yeah, Coach, certainly no shortage of action in those first 2 quarters. Definitely got to work on my touchdown calls, so we'll see how much voice I have left for the second half here. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Tyler Boyd and the rest of the offense heading back out. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how that... The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. On first down, Carr. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Defensively, they're going to beef up the secondary. 6 defensive backs. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Rolling to his left. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds a defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback. I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal. After a good punt, this offense will start with tough field position inside the 10. Throwing on first down is Carr. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Carr. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. Shotgun now for Carr. Open man is Edwards. He's got it. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he works free. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 104 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame. But Josh Jacobs, a guy that runs with a lot of power. 3rd in the NFL last year in yards after contact, and breaks off a nice run there.
And with a guy his size, you have to know defensively that arm tackles aren't going to fly with him. You have to be able to wrap up, or else he can just brush tacklers aside like they're not even there.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. Here's Jacobs. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. On second down, Jacobs. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a third and about 7 left. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1? This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
And yes, everyone, that was the fullback carrying the football. I know it's a dying breed. It's a dying position for a lot of people, but I still think it's valuable and important, especially one who can carry the ball.
And you need short yardage. What makes sense? Go to a big body, let him plow forward just like he did there.
It's still a big man's game.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Jacobs is not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 3. A loss of 2 there. Second down.
Well, if this defense has any hopes of getting back into this game, they've got to start right here and keep these guys out of the end zone. That's a good step 1 on that play.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Raiders add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is...
The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. Broken tackle. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now Carr out to his left. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A big pickup there on the scramble.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3 and out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up 2nd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's Jacobs. Down at the 2. Broke through the first contact, but ultimately stopped short of the goal line. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. Carr now on 3rd and goal. Rolling to his right. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lenya, a little extra on top.
And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going, but it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Las Vegas, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year. And now they'll get the short week as they get set to play at Dallas on Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, add one more loss to the column. That drops them to a